Hello everyone, welcome back to Kat's Writing and Reading Nook. I hope you guys had the opportunity to watch the eclipse today. If not, please go check that out. At the time of this filming, I have not seen the eclipse because this is a few days before that, but eclipses are awesome. So I hope you got to look at it. All right, so today we actually are doing a writing vlog for Project Wyvern because I have not been good with that the past couple of weeks. So right now where we're at in the plot, Hirothi and Alani are walking through the town, so I'm gonna get to put some of my world building details in here, talking about how people get around, how the town looks, what they use for lighting, because I am excited about that one. I'm not sure how many other people have used it, but I find it really cool, and for the race who built the town itself, it's very important in this world. So I'm excited. We are currently starting out at 2,591 words. Plan is to get to at least 200 by the end of the video. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So that is about all the time that we have for today. I had less time than I thought I did, but that's okay because I got some things done, including adding some cultural clash between Hirothi and Alani that they're gonna have to figure out, because neither of them realizes that there is a clash yet. Yeah, so I'm excited. I don't know what this was, but I talk with my hands a lot and I don't always know why they do what they do. So I did not get to 200 words, but I got fairly close. I ended up with 2,721, I think. So yeah, not quite 200 extra, but again, they've got some cultural dissonance going on. Also, they've pretty much made it to the zip lines. And you're like, what zip lines? So the zip lines are a mode of transportation in the town that Hirothi lives in. And this is one of those things that I have tried to use to make sure that my world feels lived in. So, a little bit of a lore dump. Yes, it is subject to change, but this is really interesting, and I kind of want y'all to see the thought process here. So we have zip lines in this town that is located on two sides of a canyon, right? And you've got a river below. You've also got a bridge up top. And you've got high winds just howling through the canyon. So you've got two other options, essentially, to get to each side. You've got the river and you've got the bridge. So why are there zip lines? So the town was founded about 100 years before the story starts. And during that time, there was a war going on between the dwarves who built the town and another race that we'll talk about another time. Well, okay, so war going on, and they're trying to build this town. So getting the supplies to the town was simple enough. You had a huge band of dwarves hauling stuff to the canyon. They had already built some stairs to go down as far as they needed. And, you know, they could get them down and it was fine. Problem is, they could only approach the canyon from one side. And then they had to get them across. Problem being, if you had... problem being, you can't just hurl them across. There was no bridge to get across. Otherwise, the other race probably would have destroyed it. And it's a long way down and up through the river, which also floods. Kind of on a schedule, but also kind of not. And it can flash flood pretty easily. So what do? Zip lines. Don't ask me how they set the zip line system up, because anyway, very inventive, innovative race. So they made a really strong zip line system that they could use to ferry workers and supplies across the canyon, and you would be fine, right? So when the war ended, they actually did build a bridge up top because it was a little more practical for a number of people and other races to get across, right? Now you don't have to worry about being ambushed up top or anything like that. But the town had been using the zipline system for several decades at that point. So a lot of people and visitors, because it's kind of a novelty, right? You know, zipping through, it's a little bit of an adrenaline rush with the winds beating against you. But they still use it. And it's one of those details that just makes the whole thing feel a little more lived in. Because, I mean, if you go to various places throughout the world, you're going to see old architecture and customs and things that like don't make sense right away because you don't understand the history and what the geography was previously and all of that. But when you learn about those details, then you're like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense now. So trying to incorporate some of that, especially in the fantasy world. All right, so really quick, on Friday, I am going to be doing a book review on Robin Hobb's Dragon Keeper. So this is a book that I've honestly really enjoyed. I'm not quite finished with it yet. You okay, Daisy? My dog has decided to join me too. So, I'm currently the only human in the house, so I guess this is the place. But alright, for years, the traitor cities valiantly battled their enemies, the Chalcedeans. But they could not have staved off invasion without the powerful dragon Tentaglia. In return, the traitors promised to help her serpents migrate up the rain-wild river after a long exile at sea, to find a safe haven and, Tentaglia hopes, to restore her species. But too much time has passed, and the newly hatched dragons are damaged, weak, and many die. The few who survive cannot use their wings. Earthbound, they are powerless to hunt and vulnerable to human predators, willing to kill them for the fabled healing powers of dragon flesh. But Tentaglia has vanished, and the traders are weary of the labor and expense of tending useless dragons. The trader leadership fears that if it stops providing for the young dragons, the hungry and neglected creatures will rampage, or die along the river's acidic, muddy banks. To avert catastrophe, the dragons decree a move even further up the treacherous river to Kelsingra, their ancient mythical homeland, whose mysterious location is locked within the dragons' uncertain ancestral memories. To ensure their safe passage, the traders recruit a disparate group of young people to care for the damaged creatures and escort them to their new home. Among them is Thymara, an unschooled forest girl of 16, and Elise, a wealthy trader's wife trapped in a loveless marriage, who attaches herself to the expedition as a dragon expert. The two women share a deep kinship with the dragons. Thymara can instinctively communicate with them, and Elise, captivated by their beauty and majesty, has devoted her life to studying them. Embarking on an arduous journey that holds no promise of return, the band of humans and dragons must make their way along the toxic and inhospitable rain-wild river, an extraordinary odyssey that will teach them lessons about themselves and one another, as they experience hardships, betrayals, and joys beyond their wildest dreams. I'm about halfway through, a little over halfway through, and we've finally gotten to. Actually, no, we haven't even gotten there yet. We're almost to where Thymara and Elise meet up, but it's been very interesting. And there's a lot of ethical questions. There's a lot of lore and world building, and I find it very fascinating. And I'm waiting to see what some of the characters are going to do in their individual situations. And right now I'm sitting here going, people are going to make very unwise ones. This is what I'm assuming. And I don't know. But thus far, I really enjoyed Hobbes' depiction of dragons and some of the ideas of passing on knowledge. It's a very interesting take on it, and kind of looking forward to seeing how things go. And there are some layers of deception that I've seen from the characters, and I'm like, how is this gonna shake out? But I found this a very interesting web of motivations and thoughts and ideas. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. I'll see y'all on Friday